Hello?
Options on the screen.
Harold?
Selecting
Hey,
text
how you doing?
messages.
I'm doing well. How are you?
Good.
Happy Saturday.
Yeah, happy little late Valentine's Day.
Yeah. Did you do anything fun? I went to bed
Nah.
early.
Yeah. I just posted a song that I made for somebody, a cover song, and I dedicated it to him and his girlfriend I figured I'd do that.
Well, that was nice of you.
Yeah, he's a fan of the Rolling Stones, and that Start Me Up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did a cover song because I've been doing some AI music on the computer.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I found out where you can put in the lyrics and then the music, and it ain't there yet, but it's getting there. So I got in like on the startup early, and I've been doing that for a few months now, and it gives me a way to actually produce music I can't see anymore, but I can still write.
That's cool.
And
Yeah.
I
AI is amazing. I need to get
yeah
a little bit smarter with it. The only thing I've used it so far for is kind of searching for certain topics and things like that. But
yeah.
you're ahead of me because I don't know how it works.
Well, I just started getting in that Chat GPT, which everybody is already using, and I don't want to do that because I don't want this thing taking my brain.
Yeah.
This is serious stuff. That these things taking over one day. I mean, and if you're putting in, it's learning from what you say to it. You know, and I
Yeah,
don't.
it's able to reprogram itself, or not reprogram
Yeah,
itself. What is it? Code itself.
it
That's what I was
learns.
trying to say.
Yes, and I mean,
Yeah.
one day if they need us. If they don't need us, then what? Right?
Right. Yeah. I had someone. I don't want to take up time in your session, but I had someone
Yeah.
talking about. I mean, I saw them on social media, and they were saying how they were having conversations. They're coding and working with this one AI
Yeah.
that they created, and it's actually starting to become sentient.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh no, this is like Terminator all
Yeah.
over.
Well, I talk about that on my podcast that I started all the time because I'm into everything like that. So I just put it out there for everybody all in one spot, you know what I mean? So they want to find out about the robot committing suicide, because there was one like in China, they said that just threw itself down a flight of steps, and they're trying to say it just had enough. And it's like, okay, if they're becoming aware of that, then they're growing skin now, right? To put on the robots' faces like out of human tissue, and it's like, wow, I'm up on all this. This is nuts here, and they're growing. They're using fake. They're using parts of our brain now uh, to use for energy to use computers instead of like they figured out a way to like take a part of our brain and use that, and then use the energy from that, hook it up to a computer, and run the computer from just that. It's like, oh boy, yeah, like you said, Terminator all over again. But I had a couple things I wanted to
Yeah,
just bring up to you because it's been. You remember who I am, right?
I do. Yeah, we
Well,
talked back in the summer of 2022, and
yeah,
I did want to update you on something later as well once you get through your question.
yeah. If
But
you
yeah, I
picked up
remember.
some
I
stuff,
remember you.
yeah, because I wondered if you had picked up anything from that one. But I've talked to a few different people, and you were kind of more just I got the vibes. You know what I mean? So I'm like, you know what, I do with the truth, and if I don't feel comfortable, I'm not going to just talk to anybody. And especially with the stuff I got to say. I was just thinking today, yeah, who does a psychic call for therapy? You know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah.
you got to talk to another person. Well, and we're all psychic anyway. So like saying psychic is like saying human. I'm a human. Well, I'm not really human. I'm just in this vessel, but uh, we all have it. You know what I mean? That's what I believe. We're all. It's just a. This is a. It's just a word that they made up to be special. I think. Yeah, it's like I'm this, I'm that, I'm that. Why do you have to be? Why do be you? But uh, where was I? See, I do that thing
You,
all.
you you said you had some questions or some areas you wanted to chat about. So
Yeah, and I started talking about the being psychic, and I was going to something.
you
Uh,
said something about psychics who they talk to for therapy. I don't know if that
oh
was
yeah,
important.
yeah. Who do you? Yeah, who do you? Because if you got all these things going around and you don't know what is up, like what do you? You can't go to anybody and tell them that. You know what I mean?
Well, when it first started, I was seeing all these different like therapists and stuff, and I felt like I won't say when it first started, because like obviously it was when I was little and everything,
Yeah.
but it got to the point where I talk about this a little bit in the podcast, but
Yeah.
I was with one therapist, and I said, well, this is why I just ripped the Band-Aid off, and I said to her, I was like,
Yeah.
I can see angels and I can speak to spirits,
Oh.
and I was like, I thought she was going to lock me up, but she was
Yeah.
like, okay, tell me more. And I said, the reason I did it was because I felt like I was going to these therapists for my, ever since college,
Yeah.
and I never really was able to get to the root issue.
Yeah.
It's like I was dancing around it. Well,
Yeah.
these things are going on in my life, but I wasn't really talking about it. And anyway,
Yeah.
she was very lovely, and she said, this was, gosh, I want to say like maybe 20 years ago, 15 years ago, but she was like, oh, well, tell me more about that and everything. And it was great that she at least held space, but she wasn't someone that could help me. And that was one of the first steps in
listening though.
Yeah, in my journey of being like, I can't wait until, because my spirit team showed me practitioners, meaning therapists, psychologists, other people were going to start to integrate the spiritual and the wellness with their work. And so that's happened the last 4 or 5 years. So there are people out there that are talk therapists. I think less the psychologists, because if they are, they don't really discuss it as much, although I have found a few. And anyway, I share that because there's more where they'll offer Reiki, or they'll offer alternative types of treatments alongside their other backgrounds. So there's that, but I don't go to anyone anymore because it's one of those, the types of things I need. It's not therapy as much as it's more community and having conversations.
Yes, that's what I need too.
Support.
Yeah, because nobody, I got the podcast going, people comment sometimes. Nobody has ever hit me up, or well, a couple times people have, but I think they wanted the wrong thing because they eventually stopped. Like one guy was like, oh, I could help you with this and this and this and spruce up this and this. And I'm like, I don't need help with all that. I'm doing it. It's my energy, my vibe. And then he kind of just disappeared. But I'm like, well, he wanted something. I can feel, you know what I mean? But how about reach out because you want to actually help me do things? Because I got so much that I want, and I can't. My sister helps me probably less than an hour a day. She doesn't have, no, I don't have help. I don't have to, and she doesn't, she works. So I got all these things, and I can't do anything with it, And for a while, I sat there and burned me, and I got rid of a lot of stuff and threw away songs. I had hundreds. I was channeling. I still got it, but I got it now to where I can try to turn it on and off. But once I turn it on, it's just going to come. You know what I mean? So I got it calmed down. But I really don't sleep at all, even though I have sleep apnea diagnosed. If I do, I'll knock out for maybe an hour once in a while, but that's it. But I'm gone, and I don't.
And I don't know. Like when you say help, do you mean like more on like the therapy side? There's one person.
No, like help with work.
Like tasks with things.
Yeah, like tasks. Yeah, just listening, like talking to another person who's comfortable, that I can say that I heard or saw this, like you, and they're going to come and take me. Because I've talked to a couple therapists, quote unquote, in the past, just to go see that I have somebody to talk to. And the last one was in my 30s, and I just went to her. And the only thing I even told her was, I've always had this thing when I was young where I could taste certain things, like metals and stuff. And this isn't weird, because I've talked to other people recently, and since I've opened up, and they said that they had certain things. Like if I would hold pennies, right, I could taste it. If there's other people around me holding certain metals, I can taste it. Or tinfoil. I have all these little like sensitive things, crayons, like the wax, chalkboards. There's things that bother me. And then when I told this therapist, she's like, I'm going to mark that down as hallucinations, and then left it at that. And I'm like, wait a minute. After the fact, I'm thinking, what does this mean? That's not hallucination. This is a sensitivity, and it's something, right? So I'm like, okay, I'm not doing that again, because how can she tell me what is right, what I know, And that's just a little thing. That doesn't really bother me. I've learned to eat with certain things. Like, I did, for the longest time, I had to use plastic silverware, because of metal. I don't want it in my mouth. And it's weird, if other people clang stuff in their mouth that's metal, I can taste it. Like, what is it?
Yeah.
You ever heard of it?
I don't know. Well, I don't know. There are like medical conditions where you can taste certain things, but I've also heard of people that can taste. Like it's not. I don't think it's as common of a psychic ability as, or maybe if it is, people just don't recognize it.
Yeah.
Like when they say like you can smell something.
Yeah.
Well, just
what
like
is
you
that?
can smell, you can taste.
What is that sentient? What is that called? A tasty?
I'll have to look it
Yeah,
up,
because you
but
never hear that, but
yeah.
there has to be. Yeah, I just started getting
Let me
this.
look it up.
I just started getting the smelling thing. You know how I don't know if it comes in shifts when they start. You know what I mean? And now this is almost 4 years I've been blind, and now I'm getting the smell thing, and that's just
Yeah,
terrible.
it's called clairgustance. So
Okay.
Gustance, and that
Oh,
means clear
Gustins.
tasting.
Okay, I've heard that
Yeah,
word.
clairgustance.
Okay. Oh, Jesus.
And yeah, and so it goes beyond
I
the
got all
physical
that.
part.
What do you do when you got all that down? I'm a 70 pound. I got weight recently. I'm not even 70 pound. My body, I can't. It's like my soul is trapped, right? Like this. I describe it as your soul is like this nuclear, just as a sun in this body, and the body's not can't take it but so long, right? And certain souls
Yeah,
maybe are more power, like more stronger, and the body breaks down, and you're only in this vessel so long. It's like a car, right? You get out and get a new one, and all that. I've learned so much since we
I'll get
talked.
a new one.
Yeah,
You will one day.
yeah, I've learned so
Not
much
anytime soon.
since we talked last time. I've learned so much. I mean, gee, I'm just like I said, but yeah, I can't tell them about it. But the smell I got now, yeah, I get the smell thing where, man, people come by their breath. Oh God, it's terrible. I mean, I noticed it before, but now I gotta hold my breath when people walk by me. It's just,
Yeah, I
it's
used
overwhelming.
Yeah, I used to have. I was actually thinking about this the other day,
Yeah,
and up until I was in college, I could
yeah.
smell death on people.
Ooh,
Like,
like
yeah, it
dirt.
could be. No, like death. Like it smells a certain way. Like I've never. I mean, I've been around dead bodies, like if they're
Yeah,
funerals, but not where there's like a decomposing dead body.
it's
And
not like
not
that.
to be not to, yeah, not to be too. It wasn't like that. It was
Well, how the hell?
it had a certain smell. It smells like when old people get like they can't clean their bodies and
Yeah.
there's dead skin cells,
Oh God.
and it's like that, but it was heightened, and there was no rhyme or reason. It wasn't just because somebody was older. It
You
could be
just
young
knew.
people, it could be whatever. And I
Yeah.
always thought it was strange. I remember telling my college roommates, we
Yeah.
would go through, I would go on campus and I could smell it on people. It's almost like how those dogs can smell cancer or
Yeah.
smell other. And I was like, I can't go through life with this ability, like
See?
And so I asked my spirit team. I was like, I don't want to smell this. I don't want to experience this, and I shut
No.
it down because
Uh,
what you go through, and you just happen to know that somebody's going to be dying soon. I mean, I know we're all going to
yeah.
die eventually, but this one was more where it was like around the corner type of thing. So anyway,
Wow.
but I
That's
know
straight
what
out
you're
of
talking about.
Supernatural there, right out of that show. Yeah,
Hmm.
that's one of my favorite shows, and I heard you talk about it before too. Supernatural.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That one. Supernatural Matters is mine, but then there's the one with Ashley Flowers, and
No,
she
I
did
mean the
that one.
TV
But
show Supernatural.
oh, Supernatural. Yeah.
Yeah.
That one was a really good
With
show.
Angel Radio, that's where I learned what that was because I've had that, and I never knew what it was. And they tell you it's a ringing in your ears, bull crap.
Mhm.
Because it's different
Mhm.
humming sometimes, different sounds. Sometimes I get the music like the orchestra, like the I mean, like the violin. There's no, you
Mhm.
know what it
Mhm.
is. You know what I'm saying? One ear will be on, gone for a minute, and I'm like, this is something coming in. And later on, I'll know what it is. Right? It's just, it's
Yeah.
it's
Well, there's one podcast you probably have heard of it because everyone's starting to hear about it lately. And I'm hoping to have the host on my show, but it's called the Telepathy Tapes.
oh okay, no, never heard of it.
Yeah, it's called the Telepathy Tapes, and the short version is that this woman is a documentarian, and so she didn't have the money to create the documentary just yet. But what she did was she created a podcast, and she
Yeah.
did research for 4 years,
Oh
and
God.
she calls them nonverbal speakers because it's autistic children
Yeah.
that aren't able to communicate verbally or even really have a lot of mobile movement in their
Yeah.
physical bodies, but they have telepathic abilities.
Oh
And
yeah.
so she was working with doctors and people who have been doing research on this, and I think you would really enjoy it because it goes back to what we had talked about early on in your very first appointment with me, and that
Yeah.
was that when you have certain senses, physical senses that are dulled or taken away from you,
Yeah.
then your other physical but also your psychic abilities and senses are going to be
Yeah.
turned on more. So for you, it's your taste, it's your smell.
Everything.
Even though you can't see with your eyes, you probably see a
Yeah.
lot clairvoyantly, all that.
Yeah.
And as as a result, I think, you know, you might be able to relate a little bit to the experiences that
The
they're
taste.
having. And
Yeah.
it builds. I don't want to spoil it, okay?
Yeah.
But like the first 2 episodes, I'm kind of like, it's a little slow, and then
Yeah.
it really kicks in, and there's 10. So listen to it for
I'll
sure.
check that out. Yeah, telepathic.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. The telepathy tapes.
Telepathic.
And so anyway, it's really popular now.
Yeah.
And anyway,
I got that book,
yeah.
I had that book, Children of Tomorrow, or something it's called. It talks about all the crystal children and all the different ages, different years they've been called different names, and how the kids born now after 20 something or more. And I'm like, yeah, it makes sense. I mean, they can talk to each other without speaking and stuff. I'm like, really? So I've been telling people that got kids, you know what? They talk to each other, and you can maybe talk to them with your mind, just like animals. You know, you don't got to speak to them, but I've learned that you can maybe just, their energy, you just talk to them with your mind.
Yeah.
And they don't sit
they,
down.
They talk about this. They talk about that.
That's
in the
crazy.
episodes too.
I learned all this just sitting in here listening to books, but I want to know that it's for real, not that I'm just crazy, right?
What's the book again?
Children of Tomorrow?
The what? Say that again.
Children of Tomorrow? Something like that.
Children of Tomorrow. Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't hear the children part. I
Yeah, with that accent.
Tomorrow, but not children.
Yeah. Let me tell you. First of all, yeah, I want to help people. So anything's experience, anything I say, I want you to tell, you can share if it helps relate anybody if they hear something or do something, and you say, hey, that you can, like, I'm here to do something. You know what I mean? So if I can help anybody with what I've been through with my life or what I'm experiencing, so somebody else knows they're not alone. Oh man, that's what Spirit told me I'm here to do. I was here. First of all, love unconditionally. That's what I got was the number one thing we're all supposed to do. No matter what anybody does or says, you should love and don't let nobody turn you into what you're not made of. And then teach or learn. You got to at least one of those three things every moment, right? Is what I like to say. So every moment is for something. Everything is always for something. That's one of my Sullivanisms I've been writing. And one of the things I like help with, I got some oracle cards. I actually been writing these little Sullyisms I call, and I got pictures of my god babies because one of my friends asked me to be the godfather of his first child and then the second one. So he has two that are 2 years old. One's 2, one's 1. And I'm like, they're little precious babies, Abrielle and Adeline, and they make me happy now because it's something, you know, for me to look forward to. So I send them things and I get them videos, and I got them Kermit the Frog on Cameo to sing them Rainbow Connection, you know, and so I want to do pictures of them on oracle cards, right, with the saying. Like I got these, and I got the prototypes. My sister helped me do them paint, but I like to find a way maybe to do these one day if somebody could help me. And then also with the book, I'm trying to do the book. What else? Hold on, let me ask my Ziggy. I got the thingy, but I changed the name to Ziggy. Hey Ziggy, what are my stickies? Ziggy, what are my stickies?
I found 10 notes. First note, oracle cards painting past lives.
Ziggy, stop. Ziggy, stop. It don't work all right. You know, like I said, you got to yell. But a couple other things I wanted to ask you for. Just if you could have anybody that helps or in your community that works on any of these things. Or I've been listening about Scott. That's cool with you and Scott. How you've helped him and the Dr. Scott and the book and I've had a couple of people that tell me they would help mentor me, but they never came through. You know what I mean? And I'm like, well, maybe it wasn't the right time. Spirit, if I need somebody, they'll send me somebody. You know what I mean? But
well, maybe what we'll do, because I know last time you were like, I want to be on the podcast, but it was a little different as far as what how I did it. But now I've kind of changed it up.
Oh yeah, I left you a message about that stories. Yeah, because I wanted to share stuff if I can.
So excuse me, my voice. If you want to, you can submit do a voice memo and then have your sister email it, or if it's easier, you can text it to me and
what about
my cell phone.
Just call that number like I did before, or no?
Yeah. You can call. Yeah, you can call the number.
The voicemail.
Yes, the voicemail.
Okay.
But also, what you can do is you can record a voice memo on your phone, and then you can email it in if it's easier. I don't know how you want to do it, but
no, because I'm using I got to use a flip phone that I can, and I can't do the internet from the phone. But yeah, I left you one about the angels before when you were asking for stories, because there was one episode you were saying you were trying to collect a bunch of stuff for, so I was like, you know what, I'll call, because that was weird how I listened to your book seriously. My Alexa quit working, I had to buy a new one. And I had 2 or 3 other devices They all shut down, and I got them to go back up, but I had to buy a new Alexa, and you were like, people were having problems with their stuff from listening to your book. So I recommended it. I'm telling people when I'm like, this is weird that the stuff quit working, you know. But I just wanted to tell you that.
It works now. You just have to reload it. Like you just
No, I mean my Alexa.
delete it,
My
reload it.
Alexa
Yeah.
actually blew up. Like quit working altogether. It's crazy.
That's strange.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, what I was saying is
Yeah.
that if you submit a story, like I know it's the Angel one, and Scott reviews all those, by the way, so
Okay.
I'll ask him to take a look.
Well,
But,
anything. I'll talk about anything. Ghosts.
Hold on, let
Okay.
me finish.
Yeah.
Is that submit anything, like, so for example, people send the stories,
Yeah.
right? But then what I've been doing, I did it with Molly, with Angie, and then with Jessie, which Jessie's is going to be this week. I do a deeper dive conversation with people, but what you probably noticed is based on the story they share. So, for example,
Yeah.
you could say, "Hey, I am blind, and I at my own podcast I do these things. Nicole, we've talked before.
Okay.
Whatever you want to say. I'm just giving you an example.
Yeah.
And then you can say, but I'm looking for people that can help with X, Y, and Z, and then I would play that story
Okay.
in a future listener episode,
I appreciate it.
and then I could have like a separate conversation with you where
Yeah.
it's more detailed, and then you could speak exactly about what you're looking for,
Okay.
and we could kind of create that call to action. So that's what
Yeah.
I'm thinking about. At the time when you asked me, I
Yeah.
didn't have like the listener episodes, and I didn't do
Yeah.
the deeper dives with the listeners that were calling in, but
Yeah.
now I have that as a series, so we could maybe work on something like that.
Yeah, you did more with just you bringing up talking. You didn't really do many guest things too much, so at the
Right,
time.
exactly.
So
So
yeah,
anyway, so that's just something
that's
if you're
good. Okay.
interested in, because again, I know there's the angel story, which we could obviously share that too,
Yeah.
but I like to do, based on what somebody submits a story on,
Yeah.
then that's usually what the deeper part of the conversation is about, if that
Okay.
makes sense. So like if you want to talk more about like those things, meaning
Yeah.
what you're looking for help,
Okay.
then maybe that's what the story is, and then I can have people,
Okay.
reach out. Okay?
Yeah. What time is it?
It is 11:53.
Okay.
We still have like a little
Yeah.
over 30 minutes.
Okay, that's good. And then one more thing about with help painting or paint. This is something I know people do. People draw or paint ghosts or people around you. Have you ever heard of that kind of thing? But I don't want to go on eBay and be like, oh, this is a picture of your past loved one. And plus, I'm blind anyway now and I can't see it. But what if you want, like, hey, I see this person around you. This is what they look like. Almost like a police sketch artist, but a psychic, right? Do you have anybody, or if you think of anybody in the community that's trustworthy to do that kind of thing? I would like to have maybe get a picture or drawing of somebody, that's passed on, or
Well, I think in that instance, we would be looking for somebody who's an actual sketch artist.
Okay.
I have seen a person, I mean, I haven't seen her, but like I've heard of her,
Yeah.
but I don't recall what her name is. And what she does is she taps in and she will draw or sketch or paint a person
Yeah.
that she sees in her mind's eye.
Okay.
Like, 'cause she's an artist, so she'll do that. But I
Yeah.
think what you're looking for is to be able to describe it to someone, and then that person.
No, I don't want to describe it
You know
because I don't know what they look like. Because this is what I'm saying. Do you remember we talked about Madison, the spirit, last time? You said it was a young girl that I thought I felt around me. And then someone else had actually, see if your team picks up on this, someone else had mentioned to me that this girl was actually a daughter in a past life of mine and a wife in a different past life, and that she had given up being reincarnated to just stay on the other side and help me. And I was like, wait a minute. I mean, if that's for real, that's so, like, talk about love, like, romance, you know what I mean? Like, who would do that? Like, who would give up coming back again just to, I don't know if that's possible, but that's what somebody actually told me. And I'm like, okay.
Well, I don't want to come back in the next life. I want this one to be my last one. So, but that doesn't mean I'm not going to help other people
Yeah,
that I love on the other side. So.
do you feel anything on that vibe that this is a, I don't know, what would you, a spirit guide or whatever, that is somebody who's been with me in several lives as different reincarnations, but they've just
I can see that. Yeah, I see that a lot of times with people.
Yeah.
Is that usually though, when there's a loved one on the other side, whether they showed up in past lives or not, they're a loved one. They're not necessarily officially like a guide to give us advice. They're or direct us. They're
So
here
she's
for
all the way
love,
around. Yeah,
reassurance,
she's
and
like they're
support.
always around. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah. or paint what she sees. Like,
Yeah.
I don't always see. So, for example, when I'm tapping into someone's spirit team, I see light or I
Yeah.
feel energy in my mind's eye.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily see features unless it was a person. Like if it was a soul that had incarnated or was human at one point,
Yeah.
I can see features. Not all the time, but most of the time.
I
This
just saw a light a
person,
second ago. I just wanted to point that out.
This
Yeah.
person, because she's an artist and has those abilities, kind of like a sketch artist, like you were talking about,
Yeah.
she can paint or draw. I think it's basically sketches. So let me see if
Yeah.
I can find her information. Like I said, I haven't gone to her. She was at an event I was at, and I remember thinking, oh, that would be really cool to do.
Yeah.
But also, I'm sure there are people out there that listen to the podcast that do that sort of thing, and I could ask,
Yeah, because I don't want to
again,
get fake people.
one of those
Yeah.
things. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I don't want to go. I was looking on TikTok and stuff and eBay, and I ain't trust. Uh, I don't want to just give somebody $100, hundreds of dollars, whatever, and then it's because I'm curious to see if this girl actually exists. I mean, I'll maybe never know, but if I had a face, you know what I'm saying, or just a memory, like something to hang, because I told her, I said, if I'd ever have a weight, I could commemorate you. I didn't make an essential oil though. I named it Dom. I spelled her name backwards because I started making essential oils too, which is something I can do. I love the smells, and I put them on every morning on my hands and my crystals. I got hundreds of crystals. Somebody just gave me a lapsol, what's lapsol? What's it called?
Lapis lazuli.
Yeah,
Lapis lazuli.
I don't know how to say that. How do you say
You
that?
were messing me up. I was like, how do you say it? Yeah, lapis lazuli. Although my mom says it lapis lazuli, but I think it's
Yeah,
lapis lazuli. Yeah. Mhm.
out of nowhere because I was talking to him about stuff. I know I like that how I can just be like, hey, I'm comfortable with that, and all of a sudden they pull a crystal out and give it to me.
Mhm.
That's
Yeah, well,
amazing.
lapis lazuli is a really really good one. It's like one of my favorites.
Oh,
I don't even know where it is right now because I moved, but I had a lapis lazuli. Somebody made rosaries from by hand,
okay.
and I picked how the crystals that I wanted, and then also the
Ooh,
different types of stuff. And she
yeah,
made me a lapis lazuli rosary,
nice.
and I use that rosary for healings,
Oh,
like when I'm
okay.
working on people. It was when I was doing work, like doing healings in person,
Yeah,
on the side, when I was in my early 20s. And
yeah,
anyway, I say that because even if that crystal you have, it's a very good healing crystal. I'm sure you know a lot about it.
yeah.
It helps pull negative energy out. It helps hold space.
Okay.
It's a very good healing, grounding crystal or
Yeah,
gem. It's really more of a stone than anything. It's not really
yeah.
crystal, but yeah, it's a really good stone.
I've been holding. That's the one since she gave it to me. I've been holding that in the morning. I had. Is it selenite? What's the clear? It's really clear. It almost looks like
Yeah, the
ice.
selenite.
It looks like ice. Yeah. So I was holding a piece of that. Whenever I hear a new one, I get them. I buy every when I hear a new one and it just clicks. I just buy it. I don't care. And I hold it for a little bit, but I keep it or I give it to someone, or you just put it somewhere. They don't die. They don't go away. So somebody will find it or it'll be there. And I love how there's forever. You know what I mean? Crystals, rocks, and all that. It's just I never, but before I had sight, never looked. I mean, I looked at crystals and stuff, but never looked at them. I saw them on TV. I didn't care about any of that. Same with history. You know what I mean? Now I got History Channel on, Ancient Aliens and all that. They started a new season, but they're just talking about the same stuff. I mean, come on, guys.
I know they just repeat it.
I've
My
been
dad, it's
waiting.
like that's my dad's favorite show,
Yeah.
and every time I go to the house and he's watching it, I'm like, it's a new season, but yet they're saying the same stuff that they
Oh,
said
we're going to
the
talk
last
about
time
some.
I was at the house.
I'm going to talk to you about some aliens here too in a minute because that's another thing.
Okay.
And one more thing I wanted to ask you about was Reiki. I actually went and
Mhm.
had. Well, I thought I had it done. I'm not sure because of course when I lost the sight and got into this, I started. Hey, I'm gonna try this. I'm gonna do. I'm gonna. You know what I mean? Whatever. I want to feel good. It's making me feel. If it makes you feel better, do it. And I went to this lady. Okay, it was 45 for half hour. She said I'm gonna only charge. She said only you only got to do a half hour because she said to be honest, you'll get as much out of that as you would an hour. So and then you pay up front, of course, right? So then I go on the back. She pushed me back in the wheelchair, and she does the smoke and the music and the water fountain in the back, and she touches my foot once, and then she's breathing all around. I thought she was about to fall asleep, and then moving
Mhm.
around me and all this. In the meantime, I'm in pain just sitting there because I'm constantly pretty much in pain from my juvenile. It's called juvenile rheumatoid arthritis. It's an autoimmune disease, but it's my body's in constant pain. Nerves or bones or whatever, and it's very hard to even just be able to concentrate. But anyway, she's doing all this to me, right? And then when I got done, I kind of felt worse than I did, and I was like, I don't really feel any better, am I supposed to feel this way? And she's like, it'll take some time. So I left, and then I still really wasn't feeling better. I'm expecting to leave and be all high, high up, basically, like I'm in heaven. And I get home, a couple hours later, I knocked out in the wheelchair, right? And I went to sleep. Then I woke up, oh my God, I felt so bad, literally, and this maybe lasted months. And I literally, this is the best way I can describe it. I felt like somebody literally, like reached into me with invisible hands and did something inside of me, but it wasn't right. It wasn't good. Now, I don't know if it's supposed to feel that way and then you feel better, but at that time I felt like all the stuff I was doing to get better got undone. I don't know. It just like she dumped on me instead of. Does that make? Could you dump on someone?
Yeah, you can drain people. So that's why sometimes I don't do healings all the time because I don't really advertise it or anything. I can obviously, but most people come to me for sessions intuitive reads, not necessarily healing.
Yeah.
And if you're not in a good space, then not only, well, how do I say this? There's a school of thought that when you do Reiki and you're channeling from God, universe, and source, it doesn't matter. You're not going to get drained. That person's not going to get drained. Like it's coming from a pure place, and so you'll be recharged. But what I find is that if the practitioner is not in a good space energetically, like they're tired or they're sick or whatever, then they can almost like
a bad witch too,
or like you recharge them and you heal them. And I've also had people where when I'm working on them, I will feel them trying to heal me, and I'll have to like say no or don't heal me because it's literally like you're plugging into each other. Like you're a cell phone battery that's plugged into to the mainframe essentially.
Like a vampire,
and
right? Psychic vampire. Yes.
Yeah, and I don't know what she was doing, but if she was like almost falling asleep, that means like she was draining you. And
yes.
I hate to say it, but also my old Reiki master and mentor. She told me this. And it freaked me out at first. I was like, oh my God, that's creepy. She's like, if you ever go to a healing and somebody tries to breathe on you or breathe from you, she's like, don't let them do it. And I was like, what the actual heck? So I don't know if she did that. Did she breathe on you?
No, but she was like snoring. Like I was about to ask her, "Are you awake?" But she was walking around like.
That's what was happening.
She's sucking my life out of me, and I could literally. But I felt like hands were like invisible hands in me afterward, like surgery. I like literally felt like somebody like invisible surgery happened. Like.
Yeah, well, she probably was. Yeah,
and dirty.
Reiki.
Yeah.
I don't know about the dirty. But when I do Reiki, sometimes they'll show me. It's almost like you said, doing surgery.
Yes.
And they'll like have me thread or they'll have me pull energy out. So I'm using my hands and my fingers to like energetically remove things.
Yes, that's what it was.
It feels like she was kind of doing a combination of both, but I'm not feeling good energy off of her necessarily.
No.
To say it.
No.
But I want to be honest with you, and so. What you can do, and I'll do this at the end as well, but just so that you have this moving forward too, I mean, you're probably very well versed on this, is just asking your angels, so Michael, Raphael, your spirit team, to energetically heal you, to balance and ground, to cut any cords, to sever any energetic connection that you may have had with this person. I always, like maybe once a month, I do it as like kind of a regular maintenance where I'll be like, any person, place, or thing I may still be connected to that's not for my best and highest good, can you sever those energetic ties lovingly? And the reason I say that is because, again, as we go through life, there may be encounters and we don't know how we may react or that person may react to us. And again, there's energy exchange because we're these spiritual beings. And so I like to just do it so that if I'm not even aware that something may have happened, then I'm doing that. So anyway, I share that with you because you're so sensitive in so many ways.
That's terrible. If people don't know, I was kind of aware, so if I wouldn't have been a little bit aware, it might have been worse. But I didn't really, it really literally felt like someone was scooping out of me with their hands, like afterwards. Like I got that in my feeling. I didn't really see it, but I kind of felt, I just saw another flash of light.
When you get Reiki, just so you know, and I'm sure a different way. When you get Reiki, you should feel like rested. You should
Yeah.
feel like your vessel your cup is really filled up. If
Yeah.
you feel tired, that's one thing, because then you feel like you want to kind of take a nap, and then
Yeah.
you feel recharged when you wake up. You should feel like energized for the most part.
I
not
felt
the
worse.
opposite.
Yeah, I
So,
felt
yeah, and
worse.
if you feel worse,
Yep.
sometimes though, like I'll tell people after a session, like it's like when you go and get a massage.
Yeah.
And when you get massages, they'll tell you, oh, it stirs up like your, if you have cramps, not cramps,
Yeah.
sorry, muscles that are really tight, and then
Yeah.
it releases the toxins.
Yeah.
Sometimes like that'll happen, but Reiki is different. Reiki shouldn't make you feel.
That's what
like
people
that.
told me. Yeah, they said maybe you'll feel worse at first. Yeah, but this was for months and months. After, and like I said, I felt dirty, like the worst dirty. Like I needed to take a shower in something that I couldn't bathe in. Basically, is the worst.
Yeah,
like,
that's not. Yeah,
ugh.
and so what that tells me is she was still attached to you, and she was still kind of draining.
She
energy.
did something bad to
I,
me.
I usually don't say that because I don't want to put fear in people.
No,
but unfortunately,
it's
there
real.
are people out there that do that.
Yeah, they can come to you in your dreams and all that. Oh, I know. Believe some of this stuff I would never believe was real, but I've experienced it, so I know. And then you hear someone and they experience it, and you're like, okay, I'm not crazy. That's why I want to share stuff. And when you share stuff, I seen another flashlight there. Since I've been talking to you, I've been seeing these little. I want to ask you if you think.
Those are the angels.
Is that what they are? Those little balls of light flying around in here?
Yeah.
Okay.
I love that. I'm glad they're showing up for you. They haven't been showing up. They used to show up for me like that in sessions.
Just a ball of light.
Just
it flies by and you don't know. It's like I used to call them lightning bugs because I didn't know.
Yeah, that's. They're like I call them Christmas tree lights.
Yeah, but they're one color usually. They're not blink. Yeah. And then last night, about 4:30 or so. This is crazy. This happened twice yesterday. The first time it happened, I thought literally I was having a stroke or something in my head. I can describe it the best way as somebody lit a bottle rocket or a firecracker next to me and threw it up in the air. I saw the light go, like the ignition, and go up in the air, and right in front of me though, just a big white, like the brightest thing I've seen since I've been blind, and then it was gone. And then I said, what? Oh, I was almost about to call somebody for help because I thought something happened to my head, And then an hour or two later, I saw another really bright light, but not as big as that. But there was no sound. It was just like the sun, like something went up and right. But all like I'm just looking straight ahead or down. I don't look around anymore. Most of the time, my eyes are shut, so because I see the same light with the eyes open and closed. You know what I mean? It's still dark. But that's crazy. I don't know what it was. I don't know if something happened yesterday. I'm glad I'm still alive on here because I thought there's something popped in it was a bright light. Like that, basically, and that happened.
Well, that's for me. Those are angels.
The angels.
Sure.
And when they were.
I mean, it can also be like fairies and things like that.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering.
I experience it as angels.
The angels or the fairies. I know there's some things on the other things. And when I was younger, I used to see what I thought looked like little raindrops or diamonds that would come down, but they looked like they were in some like a blob from the sky, and they would just be hovering there, almost humanoid, but not in the form of arms and legs. And then they would just be gone. And I used to just think that was something wrong with my eyes or my head. But now I come to think of that was maybe a different form of a spirit or an angel. You know what I mean? Like diamonds, like they would come down, just sparkles, like almost like Predator, how he cloaked, if that makes sense. But these were like little diamonds, like raindrops, but in the shape of a cloud, like a form, a elongated form that would come down and just be there, and I would just notice it. When I was up till I was a teenager, and then it seemed to go away, and then periodically I would have it come and go before I lost my sight. But I never knew what any of these things were, or if they were just my eyesight because I have disabilities or my brain. Now people are telling me that my brain is making me see things because I'm blind, or I'm dreaming all these things that I'm constantly like. But you know what? That's okay because I know what I feel is real. You know what I mean?
I had this one experience, and I think this is what's happening to you, which is why they're bringing it up.
Yeah.
I mean, your guides and angels and mine, but it was during the middle of the day, and I was done with my work job, and then I was starting to prepare for sessions in the evening, and I usually don't lay down in between because if I do, I'm done. I just want to go to sleep.
Yeah, getting up.
I was meditating, and as I was meditating in preparation, this was like one of the only times this has ever happened to me, I saw this flash of this lady's face, and it flew into my eyes, like meaning I could actually visually see it, not in my mind's eye,
Yeah.
but with my physical eyes shut. And
Yeah.
I remember thinking, I like sat up, like, what the heck was that? I wasn't scared. It was just
Yeah.
like this really interesting,
It's
bizarre,
weird.
because again, it hadn't happened before. Yeah. And that, when I asked my guides and angels, and why I'm sharing this with you, is think about it like, so monks, like Buddhist monks, when they meditate, what they're doing is, with your eyes shut, you should be able to see physically in the room without your your actual eyesight.
Yeah.
So when you're starting to experience that stuff where you see it, or things that aren't there but they are there, that means that your physical eyesight is catching up with your spiritual eyesight and vice versa.
Okay.
Because most people will see clairvoyantly, i.e. in their third eye or their creative imagination.
Yeah.
And that's how visuals will come for a clairvoyant, or through dreams, like you were saying, and other things.
Yeah.
But this is a bridge. It's like the connective tissue that's allowing you to then see, even though you can't physically see.
Yeah, because my eyes are open. I'm not sleeping when most of this is happening.
Mm-hmm.
My eyes are, but it's the best way I can describe it is I go into a trance for just a blink of an eye or two, and it's like I'm sleeping, but I'm awake at the same time. And I've had times when I wake up and I can see the dream in my reality, like a different room. Like at first I was seeing a couch and stuff that was in here, but it wasn't in here.
Right. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like I'm in a different time or something. It was weird, and then I blink a couple times.
I think that's what's happening and why they're showing you that.
Oh, it's in their faces. I started seeing different colors of. I've seen diagrams. I've seen radar things. This is. I don't. It doesn't make sense like military radar. Things that have been. It's like people beaming these.
Well, you may be remote viewing though too.
Yeah,
that could
just
be
sitting
something
here,
that's happening.
and I'm beaming into my mind. It's like somebody's beaming these images into. Sometimes they're perfectly clear. Sometimes they look like cartoons. Sometimes they're just outlines, but they're colored like a drawing on a blueprint, right? Like I get a lot of blueprints of mechanics and things I've never seen in real life of equipment or I don't know, like vehicles. I'm serious, and I'm like, what the heck? It just boom 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 sometimes in my head, and I'm just sitting
Weird.
there. And I'm like,
And I only say weird because what you should be doing is, in those instances, I don't say should. I think what you could be doing is that you could be asking for more information or things like, why am I seeing this?
What do you want me to do with it? Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. That's going to be something that's key.
I mentioned it on the podcast in case anybody, you know what I mean. But people are probably like, maybe somebody will hear it and be like, this means something. Just like I've got the K2 meter, the K2 meters with the ghost hunting.
Mm-hmm.
And I've got Morse code, but I don't know Morse code,
Mm-hmm.
And I got the kind that makes a sound because I'm blind, so it lights in. But what a code, beep, 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 you know what that is, but I need someone that can say what it is, and right there, there's proof right there that there's a communication with something because it's communicating back. And I got videos, but nobody ever raised. I've been doing that stuff for 25, 30 years going back. So I knew that was there way before, right? So that was the first thing. I knew ghosts existed because I seen them in the past when I did have eyes. And then that led me to, okay, maybe there's other. And now I just know that there's all kinds of, you just get more questions. You ain't got no answers. You know what I mean? But the seeing thing is what I wanted to tell you about. Yeah, where you said I can see, almost where I can see, but I can't. That's what I want to do. And a lot of times I'll wake up when I'm like half asleep and I will look down and I can move my arms and stuff and actually see, it looks like x-rays.
Oh, interesting.
It's like a ghost, arms and legs. It's not fully, but it's the movement. I can see the shape. And then at least once I remember when I looked down, my body, I could see like green trees or like veins. I don't know if I was looking through my body. But it was going down through everything, like a tree, like tree branches inside of me, but they were green.
I think are you asking what I think it is, or do you know what it is?
Yeah, I don't know what they are.
Yeah, so I think that what I'm getting is that it is you being able to see the energy in your body. So if you
Okay.
think about, like, we have obviously our nervous system, and we
Yeah.
have our veins and all that kind of stuff. But when I'm doing Reiki on people, I will see certain things, almost kind of like an MRI scan or like an
Yeah.
X-ray scan, and I'm able to go through their physical body, but it's
Yeah.
not only their physical body, it's the other energetic layers, emotionally, mentally, spiritually. That all can, it's, think about it like a Russian doll where they're stacked.
Yeah.
These layers are like, they're all
X-rays.
together, but yet they're separate. And so
Yeah.
when you were able to see that, the green and everything else, I think it was showing you like that life force or life source energy.
Yeah.
And where whatever was being highlighted in your body, I don't know, did it happen after the Reiki situation with this lady?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So your higher self or your guides and angels were showing you in your body where you could have been like, oh, well, thank you for showing me what needed to be healed. And then you could be like, heal. But I think they were giving you an insight into the fact that your energy was zapped and it needed to be, not reset, but re-energized and all of that.
Well, I want to see myself all the time again, though. You know,
Mm-hmm.
when I can
Yeah,
look
well,
down and
you
move.
can just practice and can keep it up. Ask them, recall
Yeah.
that memory.
It
Next
was
time you're in meditation, and recall that memory, and recall it. And then if don't force it, but just
no.
try and allow it to kind of come to you, and then be like, okay, I'm ready to see again, and
It's
then it
yeah.
should start to like sputter up, meaning it'll
It's like
start to click in more
X-rays.
and more.
It's like an X-ray, and I want to be able to.
Yeah.
I want to be able to. When I can look, it's dark for me all the time, and when I can look down and move my arm and see it move, even if it's just like a light. Like now, I can. I've been doing since I've been doing the holding the crystals and stuff. If I if I hold a crystal and turn my hand like a circle, I can see the blue. Like I guess that's my aura, right? So I'm starting to pick up auras.
Yeah, that's cool.
And other people around, I see light blue. I've seen red. When people get angry, I don't want to see that though, because that's scary. Like it's really like it jumps out at you, like red. Like, and then I see green outside sometimes, and I see light and dark. Like I think it's just energy, light and dark. Like right in here, it's brighter than it usually is right now. Sometimes it's real dark when I go outside. It could be sunny day and be dark, or it could be brighter, and I'm getting all of that. And before we go, though, I want to mention about the alien. If this makes sense, this is a lot of stuff.
Yeah. We have like 12 minutes. So I just want to give you. Yeah, we still have a little bit of time.
I'll give you the aliens thing, and then you can tell me about the other. Yeah, okay. So before I lost my sight, never dreamt about aliens that I can remember. Never was on a ship. None of that. Always was into X Files, and never, of course, always was open to it could be out there. You know what I mean? And then it started with seeing the little orbs. Like I thought, I didn't know what those were, but like you said, they're probably angels or fairies, which is what I believe they are now. The first thing I thought I saw was this little weird thing up in the corner that was flying, and it looked like a chalkboard eraser from a school, like the old boards, sideways with one tiny light on top. It was black, almost like an ice cream sandwich on its side. I don't know what the heck it was. It was in my room though. It was probably only 6, 7 inches, like a mini UFO. Is the best way I can describe it. But with one Christmas light on top that was not blinking, it was just one light, and it just flew up in the corner and was gone. I remember all these. There was one time it happened, but I remember. And then after that, I remember these are things that I think have to do with aliens. That I'm telling you, I saw in my third eye, just sitting here, my eyes open though. I saw three things in a row. I saw this like star thing with a circle around it, which I think was some kind of symbol. Then I saw the Earth spinning around, and then I saw a UFO, like what you would say a typical flying saucer would look like, and it had these two like circles around it, like maybe I'm thinking they're energy, because one was going one way and one was going the other, like they were trying to show me how propulsion or something works. If that makes sense, I don't know, but it went from left to right, the UFO, and then it was gone. It was just like a maybe 1 second image, and then like I
And
said,
this was like through meditation, or
no,
how did
just
you
sitting
see it?
here. None of this happens through meditation. I don't know how to meditate. I've tried to meditate, and one time when I got into where I started to see colors, something tickled me on the ear in here, and I snapped out of it. Like I can't sit there. No, my stuff just pops in my head just sitting here. I can't meditate. Or I'm listening to stuff from the audio Bible. I'm actually in my 19th time now through the audio Bible, and it's 87 hours. Oh man, on that. But I'm with the collective thing, though. You know what I mean? Somebody had to make everything, but I don't believe in as God as a person, a human being, and heaven as a place. I'm with more or less everyone else. It's just an energy, and we're all one. But But yeah, these are just popping into my head. And then, like I said, I'm seeing these radar images and these diagrams. And then one night, I know I had an out of body thing because it was raining right outside. And in my room, I felt water drip down on my forehead, going my ear and everything, cold water. I called my sister. She was already gone to work, so I missed an hour because I have that happen too. A lot of time slips. And I know what time it is because I'm constantly asking my Google or Ziggy because I can't tell what time it is anymore. And so she said, I'm gone to work already, so I had to call my brother-in-law because I thought there was a leak in here, literally, and I'm laying there with equipment. I don't want to get fried. He comes in and said there was nothing wet. So I'm literally, like I left my body, woke up at the same time I'm coming back, and I felt the water go down my head.
Yeah, I bet you're right on that one, for sure.
That's scary. I mean, that's weird. And then, now the other 2 or 3 things that happened, one time I'm laying there, sleeping, and I hear metal, well, I'm not really sleeping, I knock out for like a second or 2, like I said, and I hear metal equipment next to me, and I've been through surgeries when I was younger in the operating room, so I know the feel, and I know, you just know. And I hear these little chink chink metal, and then bzzzt, and then I woke up, like I heard a buzz. So now I'm starting to think, wait a minute, a buzz. A buzz has something to do with, what is this energy, buzz, okay? And then here's the big thing. This is like a few months after that. I'm having one, I'm just laying knock out for a second, all right? And this is no dream, or I don't believe it was a dream, and I'm not making it up, and it's weird to even say this, but I would have never said it in the past because I didn't want to be made fun of, but now since I know it was true, I don't care. You know what I'm saying? But literally, I was either going up or I was coming down, and the best way I could describe it is I was in this teacup, like a energy, like a cyclone or a blue tornado of energy, okay? And it had that sound, kind of like that, like electric sound, all right? But I don't know if I was going up or coming down, and I don't see me, it's just my consciousness. A lot of times when I have these, like out of body or I'm, what do you call it, astral projecting, I don't see myself. I'm just there. It's just my conscience. So I'm in this thing, and like I said, I don't remember where I was, but I remember either going up or coming back down, and I could feel the air. I mean, it was cool. I could smell everything. It smelled like almost like electricity, if that makes sense, warm. And then I look down, and I kid you not, I see one of the little guys standing there next to me in this thing. He's chilling too. One of them little aliens, just like on TV, just like they say, they look with the big eyes. He was little, probably 3 or 4 feet tall. I mean, I couldn't really judge the height. He wasn't big though. And he was either blue or green. I couldn't tell because the color, it was light and it was blue, but I think he was blue maybe. But the lights shining on him might have made his skin look that color. But he was just in the thing with me, coming down or going up, and he didn't say nothing. And then I woke up, and then I was like, "What the?" I'm like, "Okay, that wasn't a dream, dude," because my heart was I wasn't scared, but it was like I was on a ride, and I came, and I'm like, "Okay," and I have to tell people about it. And I spoke in the podcast, and I'm like, "Okay, maybe it wasn't real, but my God, it was as real. It was realer than this is right now." So,
wow.
If that sounds real, do you get goosebumps on that?
Say that again. Sorry.
You get goosebumps on that?
Yeah, no, I mean, I feel like the electricity kind of thing is, I've heard I haven't experienced this as much, but when we spiritually, our souls, I don't think our souls are actually in our bodies,
no.
but when we feel a shift, when our souls are kind of, I don't say our souls, sorry, they're making me reframe it. Our consciousness.
Yeah.
When our consciousness separates from our body to some extent, we're either doing astral travel or we're doing out-of-body experiences and things. When we're merging back and or we're leaving, while some people may feel like a wave of cold or air or a breeze, other people will feel more electricity, like charging, because that's our physical body, I won't say warming up, but having these electrical currents, because we're made up of electricity too, Yeah. That's like what keeps us charged, essentially. Our electromagnetic field is what they're telling me. I don't understand this scientifically, this is what they're telling me. So, anyway, I feel like that might be why you are having those electrical charges or those electrical shifts. And also, I believe we talked about this the very first time we spoke too, but it's that part of the things you are experiencing are those out of body and astral, because, and maybe you play around with that a little bit more to see, because if you're remote viewing, you can remote view while you're in your own space mentally, okay?
Yeah.
But you also can do it where you astral travel and you go. So there are remote viewers or people that do that, and they're like, okay, I'm going to go see Nicole in her home and, check her out or whatever. And so that's also could be, but for you, if you wanted to go and visit certain people, or you wanted to kind of go around the planet, like, you can get, your guides and angels are saying, to a really good conscious state of awareness where you're able to do that. Now,
time travel
the blue
too,
thing,
right?
The blue thing, I'm not, or that being, I'm not really sure. I'm not getting a read on it, to be honest.
On the beings?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because, I mean, he looked just like with the big eyes and the little nose, 2 holes and the slit for the mouth. And the skin, I mean,
you probably have like alien or extraterrestrials on your spirit team, or at least ones that are or at least ones that are curious about you because of like your abilities. That was what it feels like to me. Is the one time I was laying in bed, and as I was going to sleep, I felt something behind me.
Yeah.
And when I jumped up out of bed, I was like, "This is not typical energy that I feel." It was definitely alien. And I was like, "What the heck are you doing here?" And I got, we're curious, we're spying on you, and I was like, you don't have permission to be
you don't
in my
like
space.
them too much, huh? I told you, I've heard you talk, you're just not, you're just, I don't know, you're a little apprehensive, right, about the aliens?
Yeah, I think for me is that right now I have way too much going on. The last thing I want to deal with is aliens, like ghosts, spirits, angels, loved ones on the other side. That's one thing. Eventually I'll get into it a little bit more, but the way I feel about aliens is I feel like they're actually physical beings.
Yeah.
Like they can be, that's different. That is very different than a different energetic, at least in my opinion. Now maybe I'll be proven wrong, and that aliens are just like angels and they don't really have a physical body. But I feel like they do have, exactly. But I feel like, or AI, I mean, who knows? Yeah. But it's like this energy where I just feel it's not time for me to dig into it. Not because I'm scared, I just don't have time. And so anyway, I share that because I think that they are, meaning the aliens, are observing us more. They're trying to understand us as like this species, obviously, but some of them are good and some of them are bad, and I don't feel like dealing with the bad right now, you know?
Oh yeah, I don't want none of that either, because I'm here just chilling and doing what I can while I'm here. It's so hard once I know, when you know everything, when you've been through what I've been through and you know what I know, it's so hard to be here. You know what I mean? Because I want to be here because I can't experience the things that I can experience here in the other levels. I can't experience them there, but I don't want to go through certain things here, you know? But you have to have it, or you can't get one without the other.
I know, and it's so, and that's how I felt like for the first half of my life was I don't even want to be here, and then I'm like, well, I am here, so might as well make the best of it while I'm here, and, that sort of thing, but
Yeah, but now when you know, though, that what else is out there, there's so much other, and this is so limited, but this is where the feeling and emotion is, because I want that, and I don't want the torture and the pain and all the negative and the people, because it's mostly people, the planet just wants to kill each other in itself, and everybody, well, not the planet, but the people, and it's just tough being around it. It's just tough being on the planet, basically.
Exactly.
But we're trying.
We're almost at time, but I wanted to just kind of quickly recap a few things.
Okay.
Yes. Sorry, Harold. What did you say?
I appreciate it. I said we're trying. We're just like me, one person. One man is every man, and that's why I came, because I was like, what can I do? I can't. But you know what? It takes me, you, another person listens, another. That's all we need, and we'll keep it going, and we'll help each other. And we'll raise a vibration. We need to,
Yeah, absolutely. And